What's up guys, Sean here at Fusion Elite Trading, and today I want to go over how to short parabolic stocks. It's one of my favorite plays. They don't happen all the time, but when they do set up, it's one of my favorite trades and it can provide excellent risk reward. So let's jump into it. Yesterday morning we had one in OLMA. It was running in sympathy with another biotech company who came out with positive data on one of their drugs, and OLMA has a very similar one in its pipeline. So I was running in sympathy with that positive data. And so what we had here was a huge runner, right? We did about 300%, 350% from start to finish. That's one of the main things I look for in parabolics. The first thing is a big move. I want to see a stock doing something out of the ordinary. I want to see multiple ATR moves in a short amount of time. I want to see hundreds of percent move. I want to see a massive move in the stock. Okay, RSI is overbought. It's getting extended from VWAP. It's getting extended from the moving averages. These are the first things I start to look for in a parabolic stock. The other is I want to see price acceleration. Okay, a stock that's up 100% over the entire trading session versus a stock that's up 100% in 30 minutes are two very different setups. I want the one that's up 100% in 30 minutes or so, right? I want the fast, the steepness, the speed. Those are the ones that set up best for reversals, as opposed to a grindy, slower move throughout the day, even though they're up the same amount, right? So I want to see these fast moves that get vertical, that get steep, and that's what we got in OLMA here finally, just after 8 o'clock. I also want to see increasing volume. Now, the volume profile on this one wasn't ideal. It was increasing, but it's not, it could have been a lot better, I should say. We had a lot of stair stepping. This is kind of grindy action for a good part of the move until we finally got some acceleration towards the end here. But the volume profile ideally is increasing throughout each leg. Okay, we were getting pops in each leg that were higher. Could have been a little bit better, but nonetheless, we did get some price acceleration towards the top here with a lot of buying coming into these moves here. The other thing is the steepness. We didn't really get price acceleration until these candles here. We did have some here, and in fact, if I came in and saw this in the morning, I would have taken that. I would have taken this short through that prior bar low right here. I think that we have a nice air pocket below. It finally got some extension away from the moving averages. To me, that's worth a trade right there. Everything else, like looking at these ones here, there's not much separation from the moving averages. Okay, this is the only time we got some separation. To me, that would have been worth the trade. You could have trimmed some off into the 10-day, and then eventually would have gotten stopped out, obviously, through the pre-market highs. Everything else, none of this stuff, this is all chop. There's no separation until we get the real price acceleration at the top here. And you can see how much of a separation we have from the moving averages, how much separation we have from VWAP. That's what you want to see. Everything else is very grindy and what you want to avoid. So we want to have that price acceleration. We want to see price really starting to steepen and get vertical. That's usually the first clue that a turn's starting to come. Okay, so price acceleration, and then we got a really nice rejection candle up here at the top. This is a big reverse hammer. It pushed new pre-market highs. Sellers came in, rejected it, and we closed almost at the low of that candle. Once that candle was set in, we didn't look back, and it made a move all the way back to VWAP and then some once we opened up for the day. Okay, so what I'm looking for, let's recap. I want to see a major move. I want to see multiple ATR in a short amount of time, 100% run. I just want to see a really big move, multiple legs, and then I want to see price accelerating. I want to see it speeding up. Look how wide range these bars are relative to most of the move coming up to this point. Okay, we got multiple big bars right in a row, and then we finally get the rejection candle here. After that, I want to see volume. So if we step out, let's look at a little bit of a higher time frame, so you'll get a better look at the volume profile. This is a much cleaner volume profile. Okay, this is normally what I want to see on the lower time frames. I normally trade the 2 minutes. If the price action is choppy and stair-steppy like this one was, I'll step out onto the 5 to 10, 15 minute, clean it up, and see what we're looking at here. And this is the volume profile you want to be seeing. You want to see acceleration coming into this move higher. And ideally, you get some kind of blow off top volume where it spikes a lot. This one had a little bit. It was the high of the morning. Ideally, you want to see this a lot higher. So that could have been a little bit better on this one, but this was still very actionable and had good profile in the volume. So that's the other thing I look for. And then when I want to trade them, I'm looking for the turn. I don't normally trade the front side on these. Under certain circumstances, I'll leg in a little bit, but I'll always have a dollar amount as my max stop, because you don't really have a stop when you're right on the front side, right? Like there's no structure above you to be like, all right, I'm going to get out if it breaks the pre-market highs or whatever. You kind of just have to have a dollar average or a dollar max loss that you're willing to take when you're legging in on the front, because you don't know how far these are going to squeeze. Okay, you could have been like, this was up 100%, you know, around here, 6:30, 7 o'clock. I mean, what if you started front siding it here? Are you going to keep adding on this entire move? It's a good way to blow up your account. It's a terrible way to manage a trade. It's much better psychologically for you. It's much better to just trade management, to have risk management when you wait for a turn where you have a clear entry and a clear exit. Okay, if you were to take this one here, the first accelerated bar, you would have been taking it through the lows of this bar right here. That would be considered the turn, and that's at 22.47, and you have this high here, 23.84, as your risk. So you have structure to the trade. When you're on the front side, you don't have any structure, and you have to you know, you have to be really disciplined to know when to get out and have, you know, max pain, and that can be really hard for especially new traders to when they start moving against you and you're adding into, you can turn into a deer in headlights, and things can get really out of hand. So best case, just avoid doing that. Wait for the turns, and then when it starts working in your favor, you can get aggressive and add to the position if you want to. Okay, so that's what I look for, is these turns. I look for acceleration, extension from the moving average, a move away from VWAP, and then I'm looking to short the prior bar's lows through that move. That would be considered the turn. It's working in your favor. You have a stop now here at 38.69, and you can look to take profit as it's moving into your favor. Ideally, VWAP is the ultimate goal in these. You don't always get them. This one ended up working out really, really well and gave a full reversal and then some out of the open. So I ended up actually taking this on the 5 minute. So my entry was a little bit lower. I wasn't convinced on the 2 minute, just how choppy it was coming into it. So I stepped out to the 5 minute, took the trade there. Just a little bit cleaner price action. You could see the acceleration a little bit better. The volume looked better. So I ended up taking it on the break of this candle here at around 33. I think my cost basis was just under 33. And I was risking the highs as my stop out. And if you wanted to trade the 2 minute, what you could have done is put a starter on the 2 minute and then added through the 5 minute turn. So you'd have been up here, you would have been the starter, and then you would have been adding here at 33 as well, and it would have worked out really well for you. So that's always an option as well. I didn't do that. I wasn't super convinced on the 2 minute yet, so I just took it on the 5 minute and enjoyed the ride down from there. Okay, so this was OLMA. This was the trade for me. So this is the 2 minute chart, but I was taking it on the 5 minute entry. So I got in there, and then I covered some into this pivot here. This was like a breakout spot, so I wanted to take a little bit off into that, and just in case it wanted to bounce from there. I got some trims off onto the other levels here and just kind of trimmed it off into my favor. These are all smaller trims. There's probably, you know, 10-20% of my position I was covering into the move, and then I took most off into VWAP. We did put in this little bounce high here. It was a pivot at multiple areas. Right around 28. So once I saw that test out and fail again, I was like, okay, if it breaks above 28, that'll be the stop on the balance of my position. And unfortunately, right before the open, it tapped through there, hit me out, and then rolled over through the open, as you can see here. And I unfortunately, I got left some money on the table on this really clean move out of the gates. So could I have used a different stop? Sure, but to me this made the most sense just looking at the price structure on the chart. But yeah, it ended up being a great trade, great fader. You don't always see these where they run for an hour or two like this on consistent buying and making multiple legs and going up hundreds of percent. When you do, you got to be ready and you got to take advantage of these setups because they can make your month or your quarter really quickly. This is a huge move, okay? Like from 33 all the way down to 18. It's a massive move in just a matter of like an hour or so. So always looking for this kind of stuff. I use scanners. I'm looking for big gap ups, big runners, pre-market highs, lots of volume, stuff like that I have in my scanners, so I don't miss setups like this. All right, so really good trade here. Parabolic shorts, really fun to trade when they work out, and can give you some great risk reward, great structure, easy to manage, easy to identify entries and exits, and once you plan it all out and understand what to do. So I hope this gives you an idea of how to trade parabolics, what to look for, how to manage the trade, and just how have a better idea of how to manage these, because they can be when they're starting to go off and things are moving really fast, it can get overwhelming, and it can be tougher to manage if you aren't prepared with a strategy or a system going into it. Okay, so hope this helps. If you have questions, hit me up in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, take care, guys.